Shalom, family.
Shalom.
Good morning, good night, good time. The time is different.
Yeah,
It's
time's
throwing
different.
off
Yeah, daylight
everywhere.
savings, and then also it's November 4th. There, I didn't realize that all of this is happening this fast. Being outside of America, I'm just usually not in tune with those times. I'm like,
Yeah,
dang, they're voting November. That's tomorrow.
yeah, it's tomorrow. So I thought it was today, but
I thought it
yeah,
was next
tomorrow,
week. I thought it was like the 8th or something.
something like that. And it's crazy because elections is pretty much all around the world.
Yeah.
Even here in the country that we are in, it's an election that's going to be done in like a week or so.
Yep.
Yeah, next week. So it's a lot of things going on, and it's crazy because um, when Africa have an election, they literally shut things down
Yeah.
for a couple of days.
Social media sites,
Yeah,
they tell you like stay in the house, like
yeah, like
don't.
really.
That's look,
So
and
that
people don't know these things.
exactly.
We've
So
lived it multiple times now.
so you gotta stay up with the
Oh
news, especially when
gosh.
you come here to Africa. Just keep up with the local news, cause
Mm-hmm.
we really wouldn't have known that if we weren't in a group.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, hey, um, be patient. They're shutting down social media. Luckily for us, we have a VPN and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that, so YouTube didn't go away. Like Instagram, Facebook, or whatever didn't go away.
Mm-hmm.
So, but just say our TV that has the apps and stuff, nobody could get on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It was a long day because the children, they like to go on YouTube and watch, their shows and stuff. They was just so confused. Um, we like, look, just be patient. Just be
And
patient.
mainly the younger ones.
Yeah, the younger ones. The older ones was okay. So it was a day of playing outside and in the pool. So all praises to the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's crazy. It's really crazy what's going on now. Um,
Yeah, this is like breaking but not breaking news. And it's so weird how no Western media station is talking about
exactly.
this. I know we even have to be discerning with the words we choose to articulate this
Mhm.
because this is like, and it goes back to the video I did earlier on our channel that like y'all just don't understand the not importance, that's not the term I want to use, the criticalness of this election season.
Yeah.
Like it's more important than any other one because there's a dismantling and a shift that's going to happen. Whether you want to believe it or not, tomorrow, whatever happens, it's not going to be the same. It's like going into 2020 again.
I say the end of the week because
Oh, and they tally up everything.
yeah, it's so confusing with whatever the U.S. is doing with their elections, and it's always the U.S. It's always problems with the U.S. like counting votes, the mail-in ballots. I saw a couple videos where um, if they click one name, another name will be chose, or you'll have to scroll all the way to the end of the electronic poll thing to get to a certain candidate and stuff. So it's like, they trying to do something where obviously they want to rule. So we believe that you shouldn't vote, you shouldn't tie into that system
The
over
elites
there
are
in the
going to rule
states.
either way. I think the
Exactly.
better question is, are you going to be a victim of the psyop, the
Exactly.
psychology op? Are you going to be a victim of that?
And that's just what it is. Like, man, because you are not victims. Like we
You
say
shouldn't
time
be.
after time, we are not victims anymore. We gotta get out that mindset. Like, really.
Dang, I saw they said I've seen a lot of National Guard trucks rolling out today. They're not playing.
Oh. Dang. Yeah, shalom, shalom, families. Shalom,
Wow.
Sade, Brandon, shalom. Yeah, what time is it over
National
there?
Guards, dang.
Uh,
Because
Brandon.
they know what's about to happen. They're about to have those folks. Either way it goes, whether it's Democrats or Republican, either way it goes, there's going to be an uproar. That's
Yeah.
just the reality. And a house divided cannot stand. That's just what the word says. A house divided will not
Dang.
stand. America divided will not stand. Or is America exempt from that principle in the Bible? Somebody let me know. If they're exempt, maybe y'all know something I don't know. Maybe they bypassed the biblical universal laws. They found a way because they're so great. They
Yeah,
bypassed it. I don't know.
they pretty
Maybe they know something I don't know. I don't know.
they pretty much been doing that. So Revelations 2:9-3:9, they pretty much been doing that.
You can't get away with it forever
So
though.
yeah.
That's why all them folks in there right now. You know, you got the Venezuelans, all the folks in there,
Thanks. So
just waiting for things to pop off
hey,
tomorrow
he
or
said
next
it's
week.
10:52 in Belize. Ah, yeah. It's 8:53 a.m. The sun is rising. We are rising. All praise to the Most High. But yeah, that's crazy. Like this daylight savings caught us off guard last night.
During our Black Educators Amplified, yeah.
We had a call last night. We usually do it at 10 p.m. our time, but it got pushed back to 11. Good thing that you looked it up, because I would have been lost.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's daylight savings. So all of and this is our first time here in this new country, being outside of Tanzania, that we experience daylight savings. So it's later now. So like usually we're like, oh, it's gonna be either 9 or 10. No, it's 11. So it is what it is.
Man, that's crazy, man. They do some confusing stuff. They do some confusing stuff.
But that's how it is though, because if you go over there right now, it's nighttime.
Yeah.
That's just the earth.
But it's
how vast the earth is.
That's wild. But yeah, we gonna play this video. Shalom, shalom, guys.
And let us know if you've heard it.
Like the video. And let us know if you can hear me, because we don't have the microphones, obviously. And yeah, you guys say anything about the video?
Nope. Leave a comment down below if you've heard this. This isn't hidden mainstream media, except in like the Arab world, the African world, and maybe Eastern Europe.
Yeah. Shout out to my brother Ricky for sending this to me this morning, waking me up like, what the heck? So let us know if you heard this news or anything like it.
This is a watershed moment for Palestine, for justice and for international law. Israel's occupation has been declared unlawful by the World Court, which has stipulated that it must be terminated completely and as rapidly as possible. The court also found that illegal Israeli occupation violates the UN Charter, human rights, and international humanitarian law. The court further unequivocally declared that all Israeli settlements in the occupied Palestinian territory are illegal and must be dismantled, and that all Israeli settlers must be evacuated. The court declared that Israeli illegal occupation not only violates but eviscerates the Palestinian people's right to self-determination in their own land, including the right to their own state. This ruling couldn't be more timely or sorely needed. The Palestinian people have endured unbearable suffering and injustice for decades. This ruling is a vindication of their steadfastness and perseverance. This right must no longer be denied or deferred. The court made clear that the Palestinian people are the only sovereign in the occupied Palestinian territory, including East Jerusalem, and that the international community is under an obligation not just to reaffirm the Palestinian people's right to self-determination, but to see to it that this right is implemented immediately. All states and the UN are now under obligation not to recognize the legality of Israel's presence in the occupied Palestinian territory.
Yeah, that's titled Breaking the International Court Has Declared Israel an Illegal State. So, let us know if you heard about that, because we didn't. And once we start to do some research, it was 2-3 months ago.
July. that happen.
Yeah.
And they called on an international front amongst like their peers in the Middle East, maybe Eastern Europe, and maybe India, countries like that. But that's why I have this theory, and this is all around election time. This, mind you, in July, this was also around the time of Trump assassinations, things like that. And so if you put it in the right context and perspective, it's like, maybe this election is about way more on the line than y'all think. Y'all think y'all voting Democrat, Republican, you think you're voting for what's the next best thing that's going to happen in America. And this is like a worldwide vote to dismantle. And by the way, the vote isn't even legit. That's the reality. But it's a worldwide dismantlement of certain powers to change into a different leadership. Because obviously, you also have BRICS: Brazil, India, China, Russia, South Africa. I think Uganda recently joined. Ethiopia joined.
Saudi Arabia just, yeah.
So people are like, it's time to dismantle. We getting sick of these folks.
Yeah.
Ruling in power. Revelations 2:9 and 3:9 folks. Genesis 10 Ashkenazis. They're like, we're getting tired of these people ruling across the world, because when you travel, you understand the dynamics and research of, oh, these people that funded the slave trade. Oh, these are the same people that funded the slave trade in parts of Eastern Africa. Oh, interesting. Now, at that time, they were, trading with the Arabs and things, but now some of these Arabs are turning. They're like, now you done did it to us.
Yeah, it's prophesied. Yeah, shalom, Ricky. Thank you for sending me that. It was, we told you. I was like, we going live, because this is like something our people really need to know, especially people that follow us, because it's like, man, something bigger than the election is about to happen, and you really have to be in position to understand and know that this is real life. This is real life. Everything is unfolding perfectly, but you really have to see and understand it, because if you don't, you're just gonna be left behind. You're just gonna be going insane. You're just gonna be going in a circle. So, yeah.
Yeah, you'll be left sitting up there happy that Beyonce dyed her hair bleach blonde, prancing around on stage with Kamala. That's the latest thing our community's happy about.
I saw that
They're
commercial.
Like, yes.
I don't think that's Beyonce anymore.
Struggle.
Like, really? Yeah.
You don't know that for a fact, though.
I don't know.
You can't say that.
I guess I can't say that. That's just my opinion. Yeah.
Oh, gosh, you're funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, because like the whole black community is just so happy about Kamala and Beyonce and all the folks.
Yeah.
And it's just like we just keep choosing to take L's for fun. That's an L right there. When you reduce the black community to no longer talking about reparations, entrepreneurship, what can you do for the community and the youth, and the only thing is, yes, let's go dance around stage and hear from our idols. That's a low vibrational community.
Yeah.
Sorry to tell you, that's very low vibrational. When instead of bringing people who are talking about economics, talking about the world that's coming, talking about what is going to be the legacy for their children, they bring on idols to come in. And she didn't even sing or perform. She was just there, and everybody was like, yes, we love Kamala because of this. It's like, that's very low. And it's like, why would you even want to be in a community like that in the last days?
Yeah.
Those are going to be the first people to go and be obsolete when they decide, okay, let's do slavery 3.0.
And that's what it's coming 3.0, because it's going to be everybody in America. If you still in America, you got to really think like, dang, you really got conditioned to be a slave. Like, really, that's what America is. And once you step out of America, you will really see it and realize, like, man, America's sneaky. They some sneaky folks there. And you really can't trust anything that they do, especially around this time. This whole, the energy and stuff, it's like, it's just this season of what just passed, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas and stuff. It's just a season of evil.
A cult.
Yeah. season of darkness.
Initiations.
So you really gotta understand like what's really going on, cause man, it's way bigger. It's way bigger than what you see. It's way bigger than what you see.
Yep.
You gotta be on code, as we keep saying. You gotta be on code. You gotta be um, spiritually strong to really understand what's about to happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to understand the times that we're in, what's about to happen after. If they're getting the National Guard and stuff ready, that should tell people, okay, let me stock up, go to the store today so I'm not going to be out amongst these people. What do you need to do to be prepared and be in safety as America becomes more and more destabilized? Because that's essentially what it is. Destabilization. They won't say it like that. Like if it's an African country, they'll call it a coup. They'll call it destabilization. Like, oh, look at that third world country. But when it's America, they're like, oh, we're doing fine. We're just
Doing
disagreeing.
great. Yeah.
We're just disagreeing.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's interesting. That's an interesting disagreement when you got the National Guard on the ground.
Exactly. Like really.
That's different.
I'm not just waking up to this truth. Everything that the news and the politicians and the people in power say, you gotta really think the opposite of it, because that's just really what it is. What are they not saying? Like really?
Yep.
What are they not saying?
Congrats! A friend of yours
that's
landed
good.
in Tanzania with her family last night. They got out. Wow! That's so timely. That's good.
Yeah.
That's great.
Hallelujah.
Last night, November 2nd. Wow.
That's a
That's
blessing.
a blessing.
Right there.
Yeah. They must feel amazing.
Yeah.
That probably feels how we felt when we landed in the middle of the pandemic. Like, yes, we
Yeah.
made it out. Because, man, that pandemic was crazy, y'all.
Ain't have
You
to
look
do
back
nothing.
at that like, wow.
Yeah, it felt good walking out at night. Yeah.
It's like, wow. Yeah, more and more of our people are leaving to various countries. Look, it don't just as long as you leave America, you're in a better situation. You really are. You're in a drastically better situation for your peace, your sanity, your spirituality, your health. Man, when my mom came to visit us in Tanzania, her high blood pressure immediately went away after a few weeks of taking hibiscus. But then back in the U.S., it goes back up. See, these are things people don't think about. How much stress, this principality of stress that's over America, hardcore all the time, like hardcore. People are always stressed in America to insane heights. Even more so now, especially in the African American community, where people are like, you've been working in corporate, you've been working your job, they still continuing the microaggressions. You're trying to figure out a way out. Then this thing after this thing happens, and you're like, man, I was trying to get out. It's like something's got budge. You gotta just be like, it don't matter, son. I'm gonna have to sacrifice something to get out of here. It's gonna be a sacrifice. Everything in life is a sacrifice. The spiritual world moves through sacrifice. That's why literally Yahusha had to come and put down his blood for your transgressions. It was a sacrifice that had to happen. That's just how spirituality works. But we've been so far stretched from self-control and understanding the laws of the Most High that it's like we see any type of sacrifice, any type of fasting, any type of breaking out of the system as, oh my gosh, it's too inconvenient.
Any type of uncomfortableness.
Yeah.
Like that's just what it is, just being comfortable. So you gotta be uncomfortable. You have to.
Yep.
That's just what it is.
Yeah, that's where growth happens. Because, yeah, it's uncomfortable when you're going to a new area, but man, it's so fun when you land in a new country, when you see things differently. It is the most
real.
Wonderful experience that you can have on earth.
It's so real. I feel like America, you don't really be in reality. Like, you don't know what reality is until you really step out of America.
You sure don't. That's real. Like, it doesn't matter if you're in Oregon, Vermont, Mississippi. It's all a part of a matrix. Kuzingeta, who should sign up for State of the Diaspora and what is it? Thanks for asking. Yes, State of the Diaspora is our workshop. We're actually restructuring it for 2025 and we're going to launch it in January. So pre-enrollment is going to be open soon. But State of the Diaspora is the workshop we created as we left Tanzania, because we saw that there's a lot of things that are happening with corruption. There's a lot of things happening with digital nomad visas. And so it's literally like, what is the state of the diaspora in Africa?
Exactly.
How can we be on code and transmit this information to people? Obviously, we already have the information and it has blessed us incredibly, but our community also needs these strategies.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about the mindset of our people, because it's really comes down to when we first landed here and now our mindset and understanding, like, man, our people kind of got some stuff wrong, and we grew from this mindset to this mindset.
Yeah.
And we want to share that knowledge for serious people that can understand, like, wow, I didn't know this information.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to say it. I mean, they kind of say it on their websites and stuff, but once you really get here on the ground, it's totally different. And the people here in Africa can attest to that, because Africa's different. Just say, yesterday, me and my teenage boy was watching a movie about Malawi, and the chief of the village spoke up against the political party that came to visit the village, and they actually took him, and this is a movie, they actually took him in the back, and it was an older guy, like he had to be like over 70 or something, and they took him in the back and started beating him, and maybe a couple weeks later he died, just because he spoke against what they was trying to do. Well, he spoke against it, but he was still agreeing, like, yes, choose these people, but I don't agree with what they doing here because our village is suffering. They need to do this, and they say,
trying to stand up for the oppressed.
Yeah, he say they took him, you got to stop, and come on, we're going to take you over here and beat your butt. So, like, you won't understand certain things unless you're here in Africa. So, I know we did a video about Tanzania, too, and it's super real. It's
so
not
real.
America. It's not America.
So real.
It's not America. So,
yeah.
You know, we really just try to tell our people the truth, because that's what we need. We need our people to know the truth and know how to move around.
Yeah.
Here in Africa. Like,
you have to know how to move.
From this mindset where it's so exciting being here in Africa, not knowing a lot of stuff, not knowing the understanding of the residency process. The visa process and the residency process is totally different. What's the best? So with the mindset that we have today, it's some things that you can do to get clear of all that silliness. Like, really, all the foolishness. So stay in diaspora. You know, we really try to. That's our way to really give back to our community, to give them the understanding of Africa.
Yeah, but still, you know, the most blessed place on earth. You just have to know how to move and understand the dynamics. If you understand the bureaucracy and the dynamics, then you can live a very beautiful life. Especially if you choose a country that's on the list of the most peaceful or the list of the least corrupt. Your life is going to be really simple. The only issues come in when you're not aware of the red flags, and then you go into a red flag zone and you just stumble and you're like, dang, now I'm back in America.
Yeah.
That happens to a lot of people.
And that's
because
what
they don't have the right knowledge.
We do not want that to happen to it's a lot of people that come here and go back, and it's like, no, we got to stop that. We got to stop that, because dang, you said something. You saw a video or something you told me about, like, saying bye to the land.
Oh, yeah. I saw a video from DIY Home and Farm in Ghana. Shout out to that channel. I like to watch their channel. It's so funny. But she was saying that there's a way. Well, first of all, let me preface by saying for us.
Yeah.
When we left America, America knew for a fact. Ohio, all them states knew for a fact we were not going to come back. Let me tell you how they knew. Because we had verbalized it and say, wow, I can't wait to get out here. I'm never going to return. Yeah,
we were spiritually already gone. Like, really.
And we understand. And I don't even think we understood the weight of what we were saying. Because we weren't like, oh, I know I have to sit here and say goodbye to it was just something that made sense to us. because
Yeah.
spiritually we're aligned with what the Most High has set out for our trajectory. We know that the Most High has our trajectory just as he did Abraham, going out to a land that we did not know, to inherit the blessing, not for us but for our generations after us.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's just the context of it. But essentially she was saying like people will come to Ghana, they'll come to different places in Africa, they'll come and then they'll be like strapped back. She said she even saw people experience it moving from like the states like New York to Georgia. Something will always pull them back because they didn't like close those doors and say bye to the land. And so it brings to mind the scripture of being double-minded. Like if you're not focused on your trajectory, then you're gonna be in and out. Like you're probably in and out with a lot of things in life. Like if you're honest with yourself, if you're in and out, you're probably just like caught between two. You're hot here, cold there. You're just like floating everywhere, and it's just not the time for that. With these elections, y'all gonna soon see, if you're not seeing it already. You know, the rest of the world is understanding that, okay, especially here in Africa, they're understanding that America's dying. Africa knows that 100%. If you look at West Africa, Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, Southern Africa knows that they're still dealing with the Boers down there. You know, East Africa is starting to understand it more. And so all of this, even North Africa knows it because they have that proximity to the Middle East. And so everybody is like getting things ready in Africa. Everybody, when Russia comes down from their high heights towards the top of, you know, the North Pole
I
to
think, go ahead.
diversify in Africa, everybody knows.
Yeah. I think Russia just met with Saudi. I saw a picture of him talking to, I don't know what to call them, the people, the Saudi Arabian
Prime Minister, maybe?
Prime Minister, President, or whatever. Yeah, something like that.
Wow, I didn't know that. Ricky said Botswana's new president said he's closing U.S. air bases. I had no idea. Wow, that's big.
Yeah.
That's enormous. Y'all, look, while the door is open, get here and get grounded. My
Really?
gosh.
Yeah. I know. Look, that brings me back. I remember Asade. This is our brother in the States. When we was leaving, we went to both their houses, Asade and Chori's house, and we had a plan and everything. He's like, we gonna show them the houses, how cheap it is, you know, the flights and everything. We were ready, and we were what? I was 25.
Yeah, I was 24, 23 at that time, 23.
So we were young and ready to. We was trying to sell people. Look, we was going door to door telling people, hey, look, this is our plan. Look, we can do this together. Yeah, that brings back memories. But
yeah, it does.
We were really saying goodbye.
Yeah,
like,
we weren't playing.
We were playing that song. Bye bye Babylon, bye bye.
Yeah, we were
like,
right.
Every day, I'm telling you.
So we said bye to the land. The land knew for a fact. It was like, look, your ancestors came in slavery, but obviously your lineage done found a way out.
Really.
Like that's just it. That's the reality. How can people live permanently abroad in Africa? Why do people leave? People leave because of the lack of knowledge. It goes back to Hosea, that people perish for the lack of knowledge. And Hosea was talking about from a spiritual sense, but we know biblical laws apply to the physical as well. The people perish for the lack of knowledge. Without knowledge, because we've seen people that stayed in South Africa, went back to America, and it's like, you didn't know about the digital nomad visa?
Yeah, like the lack of knowledge.
It's like, why don't you know that these things exist?
Yeah, that's deep. That's really deep. Like,
You're in the country, but you don't know this exists.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what people are doing when they come here. I think maybe people are eating out too much and just like frolicking. I think people aren't focused. I think that's one issue. That our community, we always want to be entertained. We always want to meet the folks, meet the people, do this, do that, run around everywhere, spend all the money, but you didn't even get your self-employed visa, your startup visa. You didn't see which countries had a more affordable one available. Then people will run and say, oh my gosh, they don't like us, it's so expensive. And it's like, well, you did 1%, 2%, 3% of research And that's the issue. People don't properly research is the issue. Because other communities, they will come and they will consult with their own community. They will pay their community and say, hey, what's the best route for me to do this? We see it all the time. Oh gosh, I'm not gonna get into that. But people will consult their communities and say, okay, what's the best strategy because our community knows our community the best. The Jewish community knows their community the best. The Belgians know their community the best. The Nigerians, the South Africans who have also come to this specific country know their community the best, and they stay on code. Black Americans are like the only nation on earth that don't stay on code. You will hear people giving you advice and you're like, nope, I'm gonna do it my way. Okay, well, don't say no when it don't work. You do it you figure it out then.
Yeah.
That's how it is. But other communities, they will value the expertise from their community. Nigerians, they'll value the expertise from their Nigerians. Yeah. South Africans, same thing. Congolese, same thing. Tanzanians, they staying on code. If you in Tanzania, Tanzanians stay on code no matter what. Right or wrong, Tanzanians staying on Tanzania's side. But yeah. African Americans were like, you don't know what you're talking about. Do it my way. Have fun.
Yeah, it's just that mindset, because it's just all about your mindset, really. Yeah. It's really about the mindset.
It is, yeah. Because, and that's why I be so happy that the Nigerians are so welcoming, the Nigerian people just be on code. Even to be honest, if I were y'all in America right now, I would probably start looking at getting into networks with Nigerians and Ghanaians because they stay on code. Once they come to America, they be on code. I'm telling you, putting black folks on. Putting their people on. If you're African, they will put you on, and they'll welcome you into the community. It's much better than the experience that you get in the African American community. That's why, for me, in my experience, even when I worked in Ohio, I stayed around African people.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like
they're more welcoming.
We always attract those people.
We attract African people.
The last job that I had, that was my bro. Like he was a shift ahead of me. I worked third shift. He worked second shift, and I don't know how we met, but I just knew he was African, and he always was just quiet and stuff, and people always would tell him to do certain things when he already doing something. So I would come over like, you supposed to be doing this? He said, no, somebody. I'm like, you don't have to do it. I got you. Just go over there. I'll talk to him because they're treating him wrong. So I always connected with my African brothers and sisters. Even in the States in high school, I knew a friend of mine that was from Kenya, and it's so crazy that we were in Tanzania, and he was from Kenya. So it's just like, man, yeah, it's always good to connect with African people to get an understanding of, really, at first, it's like growing up in the neighborhood I did, it was a lot of Somalians around, and I didn't understand why, but now I can understand why. And if you start to understand them, I think your mind set will shift too, because Africans think totally different. They think of their community, really.
Right.
So it's a different mindset when it comes to Africa.
That's true, because that even goes back to our driver. Our driver was out of town. He went on vacation. He left the country, but he kept it in the family. He sent his family, his community. African people are very community based. Yeah, that was wonderful. To be honest, even Asians are community based.
Yeah, I think every nation is community based
except African Americans.
Besides, yeah. So yeah, that's a good story.
Yeah, because they sure did. They were like, we're going to keep it in the community, keep it in the family.
Our driver that we usually use, because he has a nice car for our family, he messaged me, hey, I'm going on vacation for, 10 days. I was like, wow, that's good. You really don't see a lot of local people go on vacation.
Outside the country.
Yeah, outside the country and stuff. And he said, hey, hit up this number if you need a taxi. And I'm like, you know what? Damn, okay, I probably can hit up another taxi, though. But I didn't. I'm like, okay, let me hit this number up and see how it goes. And a big van came, And I'm like, oh man, this van is nice. This van is nice.
Yeah.
And it was his brother's wife.
His sister-in-law.
Yeah, his sister-in-law that was taking us places where we needed to go. She was very nice. She brought us some fruit and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, man,
free bananas. You just love that.
That's the community that we're talking about. They see that we have a big family. The first time they meet us, that is, it's not like, it's just filling each other out. But the next time she brings like an offering, pretty much like a gift to us, saying, hey, here's some bananas for you guys. And it's just like, oh man, this is great. This is great. And he really just kept the money in his family. Kept the money in his family. So it's just like, we really got to think like that. And I'm glad that I hit that number up, because I could have definitely hit up another taxi, but I didn't. I said, let me stay with the family. And this is how you build relationships, long-term relationships. When you come here on the continent of Africa, you gotta, if the guy, and even he gives me advice about people putting oil in their car here, like cooking oil, to save gas. So he's like, hey, he's driving and telling, hey, this car right here, you see the car right here in front of me, you see the back, that's a car that you don't want to get in, because they use cooking oil gas to save on their petrol gas. And I'm like, what? I didn't know that. He said, yeah, this taxi here, it's 2 taxis where you go, where the mall is that you take taxis from. Don't take those 2 guys, because I'm like, that's real.
Yeah.
He's telling me the truth. Like for us, we wouldn't have known that.
Right. We don't know.
Yeah.
We're new, right? But also that tells you how important it is to be in community with locals. The local community is going to be more beneficial for you after you go through something like, say, the diaspora. The local community is going to be more beneficial, especially in the neighborhood you live in, because just neighborhoods differ. Just from where we live 20 minutes away could be completely opposite and have certain things you need to watch out for. So you have to understand the nuance and the severity of such a large move and understand the dynamics. If you think you're going to come to Africa and not integrate with locals, you might as well just stay in America.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have a difficult time. If you're just like, oh, look at those. I mean, I've heard people who have left Africa literally say, yeah, they just smelled funny. And it was just like, why do we say they don't? Like, you will not find one white American go to Slovakia and go tell YouTube that Slovakians smell funny. But our people will be the most disrespectful, and it shows a level of self-hate that is just horrible. It's horrid. It's like a horror story. You will not find one Spanish person visiting Russia then go and say, yeah, Russia, it was just so ugly over there and horrible, and there's just, ugh. You won't find one, but our community, you will find doing these ferocious videos. And I say ferocious because I mean it in its entirety. These ferocious videos about how I'm not even going to get into it. I'm going to go into a rant, y'all. Y'all know I don't play with self-hate because it's not funny. It's not time for y'all to be for our people. And I'm not talking to y'all. Most of y'all in the chat don't hate yourselves, right? Yeah. But, you have those in the community that literally the self-hate, you're like a walking white supremacist machine with a black face. It's like, it's mind-blowing. It blows my mind. It really blows my mind. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no Karen in Africa, and even if it was Karen, she'd be outnumbered. So she ain't gonna be Karen in the way she won't. Yeah. You see a few older ones there from like colonial times, and they can't. There was this one.
I was just thinking that, like, oh, that's. What was it?
Why do we have Friday? Stories like this?
It was Friday, yeah. So Friday we like to go, shop and prepare for the Shabbat. Uh-huh. So we went super early. Well, not super early. It was about like 10:30, 11. We got to the mall and stuff, and we got our table and stuff. The kid is right next to the playground. The kids is at the playground and coming back to the table and stuff. So. We noticed this older white couple. She was eating some pasta, mad. She was mad, eating some pasta.
Explain how she was. Show how she was eating it.
She's just like she was twisting her fork and stuff, eating the pasta, and then she just kept looking at us, just eating and just like. She was looking at everybody though.
Right, we realized it wasn't just us.
Yeah.
If it's somebody who had dark skin,
Yeah. It was
she
just
got
like,
from looking
whoa.
at us, and I saw her looking at this little boy playing at the park, a little dark skinned boy. She looking at him like,
Just you can tell like they was just like what, like why are you mad?
and why are you in an African country if you get mad at
Yeah.
seeing dark people?
Yeah.
That's mind boggling to me. You came to an African country, but you don't like seeing dark. What did you expect? What did you expect?
It'd be funny. It'd be funny though. I was like, oh wow.
We used to run into people like that in Tonga, Tanzania too. That you had too many stories with those old white men. They were
Oh, they was a trip. They act like
the
they
old
just
colonizers
ruled the
are
whole
a
town.
trip, man.
Yeah.
They are. It's a different dynamic than the white Americans that you see. It's very. It gives very colonial master slave days.
Yeah.
And you know, we're Judah. We not with this.
Exactly.
Don't. You gonna get a mouthful from me, and it's gonna be in the most peaceful way that you know that you tried the wrong one, and that's that. So you know, that's it. But it's hilarious. It is literally hilarious.
Yeah. Shalom, shalom, Sade. Yes, will do. I will do. But we're gonna go through some of these comments and questions. So if you guys got any questions before we get off, let us know. I saw one question from Ricky. Yeah. He said y'all gotta sign up for their behind the scenes. So yeah, make sure you guys, if you want more information, sign up for our members only channel.
Link in the description.
Yeah. I'm telling you, we give you guys all the gems, and you guys get to see behind the scenes of what we're doing with the investment properties that we're looking at and stuff, and we just giving you an idea of Africa and how you can invest here long term and stuff like this.
Cousin Gato, why do people research handbags and vacations but not visas and quality of life? This is an excellent question. If we could just pin that on our channel, that's like a real question.
Yeah.
Why? Leave a comment down below. Let us know why, because it's not adding up.
Yeah,
it's not adding up.
It's about the mindset, like we keep saying. I'm telling you, like I still got my same shoes from Tanzania that's 2 years, 3 years, 2 years old, flip flops, some sandals.
It's people, they will invest in literally foolishness, and then once you invest in foolishness, you get foolishness, and then say, well, you know, Black Americans are poor, we can't afford to live in Africa. Okay, you can't afford, we can afford it because we have self-control. So the people with self-control can afford it. But if you're like buying concert tickets, you're like, really, you can't afford it? You just don't have good spending habits, and just say that. Now it's different if you say, you know what, I don't have good spending habits, I need to really like do a finance journal, write this out, explore why I have poor spending habits, and really take it from a psychological standpoint versus just being like, oh my gosh, Black Americans are not poor. Black Americans ain't never been poor. That's just not a fact. It's just not. That's the reality. Resource wise and creativity wise, Black Americans are not poor. A lot of us just have bad spending habits, is the reality, and don't know how to prioritize preparedness. Other communities will prioritize health and preparedness, but we are a very reactionary people. And you know, somebody says some of these things are by design, and yes, but at some point you gotta stop being a victim and say, okay, it's by design, but what am I going to do to redesign this for the generations after me? By design only works for 400 years later. By design don't matter no more. To me, by design don't affect me. You could design every weapon you want against me, but it's not going to touch me because no weapon formed against me shall prosper. This is the mindset we have to have.
Yeah, you gotta know the word, not know it, but live it, like really. And that's what we noticed that Africa teaches, like our people. But Africans already know. They really walk it and live it every day and not understanding it.
Yeah.
But we understand it, but we just gotta walk it.
I love how active everyone is in the chat. This must be a good time to go live at 12 a.m.
12 a.m. at 9.
9 our time.
Yeah, that's what, it's about an hour. This is 8:30, so it's 9:30 now. We got on here like 8:45.
Yeah. I'm about to make my favorite coffee. Are you drinking coffee this morning?
Yeah.
I was so happy
coffee.
my husband started drinking coffee again.
I drink coffee.
Me too.
I drink coffee.
I do too.
Let us know what's coffee. So what coffee you be drinking?
Sugar and milk coffee.
Yeah, I just drink black.
Just a good
coffee.
caramelized. Just get you a little turmeric and cinnamon in there. Add in a little pepper. Your whole day will be blessed. You'll be a better person. I promise. You'll start the day on a good accord. All right. You'll start the day on a good accord. You put a little turmeric and pepper in your coffee. It's wonderful. It's very good. Cinnamon. Get your little nutmeg. Looking forward to visiting Kenya and Ethiopia. Yes, that's exciting. Addis Ababa looks gorgeous. I'm like,
Yeah.
Who knew Addis Ababa looked like that? We've been looking at videos of Ethiopia recently, and I'm just like, wow, that's Addis Ababa. Like they're doing it over there. Y'all see the video of the sister in first class combing her hair being mean mugged by a Karen? They hate to see us start. Yeah. And y'all know we got a big family. And when we go out with all 7, we are 7 people. So they just be like,
Really?
like, Africans, they love it. They're like, oh, that's good. That's interesting. But, if it's a colonizer, they're like, because it reminds them that their populations are repopulating. Like somebody that's old, they're thinking, wow, I only had 2 children. My 2 children don't have any children. They're not even married. So they doing the math while they looking like, oh, we're not going to really be on Earth any longer. And it's going to go back to how it was in the ancient days. That
Yeah, even
should have repented. I don't know what to say.
I could say family, the family that we that our driver helped us with, she had 5 children.
Yeah.
And the youngest was 14.
Right.
I
Close
was like,
to Jeremiah's
wow.
age. That was cool.
Yeah, that was like, wow. That's so good to hear.
Yeah.
And she was like, obviously she was older than us and stuff. And it was just a blessing to see like a family like that here in Africa.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't meet the whole family, but she told us, yeah, I have 5 children too.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, so we connect on a whole nother level already. So it's like,
great.
wow.
It's wonderful.
That was great to
Meeting
hear.
people like that. What is a good health insurance? You can do Genki if you're in East Africa. You can do, gosh, what was that called? Not Jumba. Darn, what was that
Jubilee.
called? Jubilee, yes. In East Africa, Jubilee. If you're a digital nomad, Genki. But depending on the country, you just choose one for the country because American health insurance won't work. Understand that.
And
your United Blue Shield, them folks, I don't know who else they are. I forget the names in America, but that will not cover you in Africa.
And the health things is not that expensive.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
The majority of the people are not going to do what's necessary to prepare for what's coming. They will be like tears in the headlight. Ooh. Deers in the headlight. Oh, yeah, deers in the headlight, right. I literally have an image of deer, like, literally when they're walking at night and you're about to almost run them over, and they're like...
That's a good question here.
Did you vote for the U.S. elections? In my 28 years of living, I ain't never voted.
28 years. You can't vote for 28 years. Babe.
Oh, my
You're
bad.
Only 28.
My 10 years of being able to vote. There you go. That's the right terminology.
Yeah, my 12 years able to vote. I was about to vote for Barack Obama. I was going to the poll, and they said, "Oh, your address is 25 minutes away. You can't vote here. You better hurry up. You probably got 1 hour."
But hold on. Now they say, I saw a post, I'm sorry, you just reminded me of this. This guy from Denmark was able to go into the voting poll and vote, even though you weren't able to.
I couldn't vote in that Pacific area. I had to go to a whole nother area, so I never voted.
I never vote. I never tried. Y'all, this mind I have right now, I had this mind at 18. Like, I'm voting for, what am I voting for?
Yeah.
The devil and the other devil?
Yeah, the Most High, the Most High
What am I
protects you
voting for?
from a lot of stuff that you really don't know. Like, it protected us from a lot of stuff that we didn't know.
Yeah,
Like,
takes
really.
a lot of responsibility to transition to another place that you're uncomfortable with, even inside the U.S. Many won't move to another state for a better employment opportunity. That's deep. Wow. That's true. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, employment opportunities. If you don't have a remote job, I think that would help people just be remote, because that's something that a lot of people do. There's a lot of information about it, about having like remote jobs, and I think that would like help our people just know like, hey, it is something different that you can do to sustain yourself overseas or just anywhere that you go. Like, really.
Facts.
Yeah.
Andy says Black Americans need a reconfiguration with Torah, financial education, trade skill, and entrepreneurship. Facts. Exactly. And the thing about that is so interesting is you can only build with people that have a stable mindset, because you even try to build with people on that Torah, finance, trade. Our community is so perverse. That's the correct word. And not meaning perverse in a lustful way, but perverse on, you can't stay on a straight path. You just twist, turn, where you just try to do something simple and you just look at the word. And if it says, if a man don't work, he don't eat. If it says, do right by your neighbor. If it says just simple things, you'll have other people that are like, it's like, I'm too tired. I have 5 children. I can create community building with my 5 children. It's all right. It's really all right. Because reading is fundamental. If people can't just read and let the word say what it says without debating, you are going to end up in a very treacherous situation, because the meek shall inherit the earth. If you got to debate every chance you get, your life is probably already difficult and stressful. We gotta focus on people thriving abroad. I follow Black families living in South Africa in Accra. We out here, right? There's so many Black American families thriving abroad.
Yeah.
Like, a lot. There are a lot more than people that you see that go back. There are a lot more thriving abroad and diversifying in multiple countries and choosing, what's gonna be the best bet. Just living their best life.
Ooh, that's a good one right there. Cause like little gems like this we be sharing to people, and I'm glad people listen. They said, I want to thank you and your wife because you gave me good information. You were saying that Sunday night and Tuesday night flight tickets are cheaper. That, I'm telling you guys, little things like that. Ooh.
Yeah, save yourself $1,000.
We
like to save $1,000. If you save $1,000, you could buy you some gold or something, silver, and you could just live your life and just be happier. It's little nuanced details that matter, right? These are little details that matter. These are little strategies. The nuance of traveling internationally. Some people don't know these things. I was talking to a sister. She was like, wow, how do you find tickets that cheap? I'm like, I only fly during certain times of the year, to be honest. We only fly during certain times of the year. Y'all want to know what the best time of the year to fly is? February and March. Like, not late March, early March. February, early March. Those are the best times of the year to fly. Right now August is decent. We've flown in August. August is decent. It's probably the second best to February. But let me tell you why February. Everybody's done with the holidays and all that. They done spent all that money. Ain't nobody flying in February. It's before spring break. It's before summer.
Before tax. Yeah.
It's before all that stuff. And so the tickets are going to be more affordable. When you have a little bit of knowledge, life is so easy. Y'all won't believe what we spent as a family of 7 on plane tickets. Y'all would think it's not real internationally. Y'all think it, but this is real life. This is our real life because we appreciate knowledge and we are willing to research and take time to do that. You know, and it just goes back to valuing education.
Yeah.
Like if you're someone that values education, then you don't mind obtaining knowledge, whatever it takes to get it.
Exactly.
You don't mind. You be happy. You be thankful. Like, yes, let me get this knowledge. This just helps me out. You feel happier like that. And then when you're a good steward of what you've been given, the Most High will bless you with more. But the little for what people have, even that little will be taken away if you're not a good steward. That's dangerous in 2025. If you have a little and even the little will be taken away because you're not a good steward versus the more and then you'll be blessed with more because you are a good steward, then these would be the same religious people that are like, oh my gosh. You're gonna make me cry.
That's funny.
That's really how they be. I'm like, y'all, please. Oh my gosh.
Hallelujah. So,
Oh man.
yeah. I think that's all the questions. That's pretty much all that we had to say before we just be on here all day because it's early and we hyped and we got to eat some breakfast.
Yeah.
It's almost 10 o'clock here. And
Yeah.
we gotta do some homeschool, get them together.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like the video. We appreciate all the comments and all the questions. Stay tuned for State of the Diaspora that we're gonna be dropping maybe the end of next week or something. Maybe this. Just stay tuned. The next couple of weeks we're gonna drop State of Diaspora because
2025 edition.
yeah, it's gonna be in 2025 beginning, but we're gonna open the enrollment the next couple of weeks, and this is gonna be powerful. This is gonna be powerful. This is gonna be for our people to understand their mindset and how to stay here in Africa long term. So
Without flying back and forth, you ain't got.
everybody's different. So
Yeah.
you gotta make sure you say that. So
Everybody, yeah. Free will.
Mhm.
Free will. Crazy, yeah. Free will. Yep.
Hallelujah.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, guys.